The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hello.
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 Good morning.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the politicians of the greater Fall River area, including you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk for today, Monday.
You're too funny.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Carlos.
And I'm CJ, and we are calling you directly from the studios here at FRC Media. Chip is in sunny Florida enjoying himself, and it's very rare we have a 3-window. Not like we used to all the time. Carlos, you're always in that middle window.
I'm always on the center, you know. I'm independent, so I'm okay over here.
That's right. You're all set. You know, you have to laugh.
And I'm so conservative they put me on the right.
Well, the first thing that I want to announce before we get into
It was the only empty seat.
That's it. The first thing I want to announce before we get into the news and the stuff that's unfit to print for so many, it was announced on Friday that a local organization here in Fall River, which both Carlos and I are part of, attained the #1 status in educational awards internationally, not just locally within our own community, but Fall River Innovators of Toastmasters International, which meets on Columbia Street, attained the #1 rated club. #1. So good things do come out of Fall River, people. And if you're interested in becoming a better speaker or developing some new leadership skills, go pay Fall River Innovators a call. Second and fourth Thursdays of each month. I think there's a meeting this Thursday, as a matter of fact. And Carlos, you're a big shot over there. So
I don't know. I mean, when I started, because I just want to find out more about the club. I never thought that was going to be this far in a year and a half. And look at me, Triple Crown.
Yeah, Triple Crown this year. That's right.
What is the cost, if any, to join?
Well, to become a new member for Toastmasters, it's a $20 membership fee, $10 new member fee, and $45 for 6 months. And it boils down to be $125 for 1 year for the first year, and then $90 each year after that. And we've developed programs that we can actually help people who need it. We have produced at Fall River Innovators a Speechcraft program for Bristol Community College. We work with the Career Center to teach their unemployed populace how to dress, speak, and act appropriately for job interviews, on how to help them get the job interviews. And we also create and run what's called the Youth Leadership Program, which will be knocking out of the park through the Fall River Y. And we've tried with other organizations as well. The Youth Leadership Program is free of charge. We don't charge for that. We also don't charge for the unemployment training. So we're available out there to help people out, and we are a 501c3.
And if you could just mention the results that we got from that program that we run here on BCC, really shows a difference in 6 weeks.
Right, and the Fall River Club also has, from the Speechcraft program that was held here at BCC, a gentleman by the name of Kevin Furtado competed in Skills USA and came in #1 in public speaking for Skills USA, and he's going to be going to the national competition, I believe, next month. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
Really a big difference that we saw on the student from the first week to the graduation 6 weeks after.
Right.
And I have to say that the Flint Neighborhood Association sponsor a scholarship to Toastmasters too. So it's an excellent.
It's an excellent program.
Speaking.
So basically the Toastmasters is teaching people how to fill out a job application and how to behave and get through a job interview, something that the school departments are lacking in.
Well, I think what's happened here is that Toastmasters is finding needs, and we're filling them. The primary purpose of Toastmasters is to make individuals better public speakers and better leaders. And the motto of Toastmasters is Toastmasters where leaders are made. So our main focus is the individual and self-improvement in public speaking and leadership skills. The ancillary focus has become all of these other items because we as a community group and a community club, we have found the needs and we've met them.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, which is always good.
That's great news.
How many people read The Flush this weekend? You know, we're getting more and more people reading it and more comments. And of course,
All I know is 15 minutes after The Flush came out, I saw 12 people at Rockies trying to get some fire extinguishers.
yeah, you know, I thought the headline was great. Local hardware and lumber stores declared booming sales on torches, pitchforks, and scrap lumber to create fire pyres and stakes. That's from the old days of burning them at the stake, that's for sure. But you know, it seems that these great weekly headlines are really drawing people to this, and but it also speaks about what's going to happen. I reminded people about Article 5, part of the first Article 5 of our Constitution, which says all power residing originally in the people and being derived from them, the several magistrates and officers of government vested with authority, whether legislative, executive, or judicial, are their substitutes and agents and are at all times accountable to them. Unless you're in Fall River, because our city council, our mayor, feel that they don't have to answer to anyone. The city council answers to themselves, and that's each individual city councilor, not the city council as a body. And the mayor answers to nobody. And then the judicial branch, which is Attorney Joe Macy, okay, he, on the other hand, answers to nobody either. He just tells everybody what they have to do. And he's wrong. You know, the city council tried to, as both of you are aware, and not many of our viewers are aware because we discussed this last week, tried to take $8 million out of the streetscapes program to fix your streets.
Can we take more?
Well, I know, can we take more? Because we really need to fix our streets.
I'll tell you.
Because as you said earlier, they look like Beirut. I say Fallujah. I mean, I honestly, I was driving down Warren Street, which is a street which runs between Rodman and Warren.
Where Comcast is.
Where Comcast is, yeah. You know,
Warren and Quarry.
Warren and Quarry. And I also went down Manchester Street, which runs between Warren and Rodman. Manchester Street is truly nothing but holes, bumps, bruises, and you name it. It tears apart front ends all the time. Warren Street is not much better, okay? It seems to be smooth, but all of a sudden it's craziness. You go down half of these streets where, oh, this is a new road, and it's just a top coat.
Well, Prospect Street is very nice. Bank Street's very nice. I don't think there's a single pothole in that entire area over there.
And Seabury Street's very nice. Oh, but wait a minute, that all happened under the Sutter administration.
Yeah.
And the Flanagan administration.
And you guys don't forget about Tucker Street, please.
Oh, no, let's not forget about Tucker Street, no. How many up the Flint can we find that are just so beautiful? You know, when is it going to change? So when Joe Camara made an objection, which was out of order, because objections...
He really needs to read Cushing's a little more carefully on
Yeah, and you know what I did?
Because the minute Mr. Cabraceras voted yes,
that's it.
that objection was out of order.
Exactly.
The city council president should have...
yeah, they're always... It's amazing how they're always parliamentarians when it suits them. But, you know, this was what I call the great FU to the city of Fall River. So I'm going to ask every viewer, every person in Fall River, when you drive by a street that has a pothole, like Dwelly Street, okay, with those big, huge craters where you can go fishing out of them with the water, take a picture of it and send it to DCM. Yeah, as a matter of fact, send it to J. Perry at fallriverma.org.
And make sure you send a copy to Jay Macy as well.
That's right.
Once the city is on notice of it, then you have a legitimate claim.
That's right. That's right.
And make sure you hit the return receipt so there's proof that they...
Yeah, although Joe Macy doesn't like to do that too often, I'll tell you now. So, you know, but one of the things that happened was a city councilor, several city councils actually, reached out to several people, including myself, and they said, don't you think you should file a 10 taxpayer lawsuit against this? Number one, there is no 10 taxpayer lawsuit that we can file because the city council approved this streetscapes project. But remember, City Council, you control the money. You control the checkbook. And if you don't want to spend it, you can stop it. It's that simple. And Joe Macy turning around saying, oh, well, you know, my opinion is that you have to use it on streetscapes. No. If they want to rescind it, they rescind it. The problem that they have is they've already bonded the money.
Yeah.
Okay? Which means the city's still on the hook for it. Which means that money will sit in those accounts for time immemorial until they use it.
Or they can pay it back.
Okay, yeah, but they can't pay it back early.
Oh.
They're 30-year bonds. People bought them as bonds. So,
Well, on this move, I just have to say this, and to all the city councils, I told you so.
yep.
I told you so, because I was against this project in front of the city council, and I told them the results that I had back then when the same work was trying to be done. And here we are. Now they realize that, you know, oh, we should not had approved that. So my thing is, and this now is starting turning the corner. The mayor is taking this, and I have to say publicly that because I went against the streetscapes, this cost me the friendship with the mayor. We're no longer friends because of this project, because talking about making personal things personal, he took this personal as I was against him. And I was never against him. I was not in favor of this particular project. But here's the thing now. Now we start to move around. Now, I don't know if you realized that now the Chapter 90 money was never, no other administration used as much and fixed as many streets that we fixed during this administration. The question is, Chapter 90 money was there, always will be there. Doesn't matter who's the mayor, it's going to be there, and the money is going to get spent. That has nothing to do with streetscapes. Let's make that perfect clear. Could be, you know, anybody on the 6th floor. That money comes every year to fix streets and sidewalks. Has nothing to do. It's not because the mayor is there that we got more money spending on sidewalks and streets. It has nothing to do with the mayor. So let's see if we make this information correct and not go and jump fences. This has nothing to do with streetscapes. Yes, the state every year help the city with cities, streets and sidewalks.
Chapter 90 money.
Exactly. But let's leave that aside. That has nothing to do with that. Let's talk about streetscapes. Where and how and who's going to benefit from streetscapes. And bottom line, who's going to pay for it?
Well, I can tell you who's going to benefit from it. All you have to do is look at the finance reports, the donation people on the mayor's campaign list.
And
That's who's
who
gonna
owns
finance
property in
them.
those areas?
Yep.
And who owns property in those
That's
areas?
very simple.
The thing is, now we're on the hook for this money. And,
Yeah, we are.
And that's it. I mean,
We bond for everything. I mean, you know, we bond 30 years for police cars that last 3.
Yeah, well, and
You know.
not only that, we've bonded for the money. We don't have the police cars, but the mayor has his. The mayor got his new vehicle, but the police are told, hey, tough bat, another great FU
Yeah,
to the city police.
We can't deliver them, but I'll tell you right, I don't know of any car dealer in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts or the United States of America that if you tell them I got a purchase order for 25 police cars,
That you can't get them
that
right
they
away.
can't get them within 7 days.
Right,
Believe me.
exactly. And you know
If
what?
they have to get them from Arizona, they'll be here.
And guess what? I just happened to look at the state procurement list, which we should be buying off of. We shouldn't be buying from Empire Hyundai. All right, we should be buying off the state procurement list. Okay, and why did I say that? Because the mayor's party van has a plate frame on it from Empire Hyundai.
Well, you know, the owner, Rick Torres, is a Swansea resident, so he must have donated money to the mayor's campaign.
We'll have to look at that too. But the straight procurement list, I called the different vendors on that list, and they said, oh, not a problem. We could have 10 cars there by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your excuse, Mr. Mayor? Why? Do we have to give it to Rick Torres Hyundai? No, we don't. There's a state procurement list. Okay, you doing that is paying back a friend. A friend.
Order, a campaign contributor.
That's
But,
right.
You know, but 10 years ago was Fall River Ford, and now is
Right.
a different.
And look at what happened. Look at what happened with Fall River Ford. He defaulted on all those loans, and then they defaulted on the insurance on him when he passed away, so we couldn't get paid back. So who ate that? The taxpayer. So don't even get me going on that.
And talking about eating out at the Harbor Mall, let's talk about. I can't wait to go to the movies and go buy a beer and give it to a 16-year-old kid.
And get tanked. The licensing board had a meeting last week, as I put in the flush, and they talked about a license for the 110 Grill, which has $17 salads, which I'm sure all our viewers are going to rush out there and buy.
I'm sure people are going to leave the casino to go.
Yeah, they're going to run out of the casino for the $17 salad when they could probably get a buffet for free with
for gambling.
Just for gambling. But again, they're going to do this, and they want outside dining. Can you see it now? A patio, a lanai of dining, looking over the Harbor Mall parking lot.
And the Staples.
And the Staples store. Oh, and not only that, but the highway off-ramp.
The highway off-ramp with all the cars going to the casino.
With all the cars going to the casino.
On this issue, I just have a question. I don't care how big is the restaurant, how you're going to set up, how beautiful you're going to make it, are you online like all the other people to get liquor license for this place?
Well,
because I'm going to tell you, I have an issue with this because I have two businesses on Flint that are on this list for over 2 years. They've been making big investments, buying property, fixing to upgrade their restaurants, and they're on the list and waiting for a liquor license. So I don't care how beautiful you're going to make it.
They're on the wrong list. They have to be on.
I guess they have two different lists.
Contribution list.
You got to be on the mayor's contribution list.
You don't understand how this works.
But I already told them. I'm right behind you. You want to go on the front of the board and complain about? I'm going to be right behind you because I know, and I'm with you since your name got put on that list.
But you know, the licensing requirements for alcohol licenses are very specific. And they're very strict. But the Fall River Licensing Board does not follow them. And so people like myself file complaints with the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission talking about the fact that the waiting list is not being followed, licenses are being pulled haphazardly because politicians are getting involved and pulling the strings. And you know what? That's not the way it works. And all you got to do is look at 200 Bank Street. And the license issued to Tanya Hebert.
You're talking about the empty storefront.
Right, for the empty storefront.
Yeah.
No building permits, no health permits, nothing, which are all required by law to be in place. Right. So you have an attorney on the licensing board. You have Eric Santos. Okay, and you have another member who's out ill, and I hope she feels better, who are approving these licenses. And now these two have come forward. The licenses on 110 Grill and on Paramount Entertainment, which is the movie theater, have been tabled until they can get an on-site inspection, which is going to be a public meeting because it has to be under 30A. So what I would suggest to all our viewers, when that meeting is posted, that you all go to the site. Because the moment one person cannot get in to that meeting, because it is going to be a joint meeting, they're in violation of the law. Okay? And you have a right to know. And by the way, they're talking about tickets for the movie theater at somewhere in the $35 range. And you will pick up your alcohol. They want a full alcohol license. So that's brandy, wine, beer, shots, mixed drinks, whatever.
So they're going to have the bartender and the bar in each individual theater, correct?
No.
Oh, no.
No. You buy it at the central concession area.
Oh, you go to the popcorn stand and you get your beer and your shot.
Yep.
And then you take it back and you give it to the 14-year-old kid who gave you a $20 bill to give me a shot.
There you go.
I see.
And then you know what Eric Santos's answer was to that? Well, maybe you could put a band on them so you know who has the alcohol and who's not supposed to have it.
A band.
Yeah, a band. Now here's my
Which
thing.
is good, because on the
Yeah, but the band.
which is good, but I'm going to tell you with the bands, that's what happened. On the carnival, 5 kids were using the same one.
Exactly.
They will keep putting back and forth, back
Well,
and
the other
forth.
thing
So
is about the band. I have a band that doesn't mean the 14-year-old kid didn't take my Jack Daniels and take the shot.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because there's nobody watching.
Right,
I'm
but
sure
here-
the
but-
manager's gonna
and
be
this
standing
happens
right there.
every day at the restaurants. You have a table with 10 people.
But here's what
you know.
really bothered me. Eric Santos, who is a licensing board commissioner, turned around and says, I don't want to see this deal not happen, which gave me the impression that if they didn't get these liquor licenses, they were not going to do this job in Fall River. They weren't going to put the theater in Fall River, and they may not put the restaurant in Fall River, which would probably be beneficial to these businesses because they're going to lose their shirt. But that's another story.
Do you think our mayor told Eric to make sure these licenses passed?
I'm quite sure he did. But you know, the thing that gets me is that they're again going to issue licenses, and they get around the law by saying, oh, it's contingent upon. No, there are other people waiting in line.
Who are ready to serve tomorrow?
Right. There are other people waiting in line. So guess what? Get to the list. Sorry that these businesses are coming in and they want a liquor license tomorrow because they expect to open in November. But guess what? There's businesses have been waiting on the list for 2 years, and you're still not addressing those needs.
Well, wait a minute. We have to remember, this is the Fall River Licensing Committee who doesn't care that the license expires December 31st
Well-
because you can still do business in January and February until we get around to
Right.
applying for renewal.
My problem with this is this. You come in
you
with,
can't-
here's the thing. You have a $15 million investment. Throw another $200,000 because you need a license. Period. Don't come and screw up the people that don't have $200,000 to buy a license and it's been waiting on list
Right.
for that license, okay? And I have 2 licenses that I'm pretty sure where they came from, and I can tell you, one came from right from my neighborhood, it was the St. Michael's Club, okay? The city took the license back, or they returned the license, and another one was at the Vault Cafe on the Vault Street that got the city got the license back. I personal question about those 2 licenses because those 2 licenses should go to the 2 people
At the
on the
top
top of the list.
Absolutely.
And I was told no, because they are holding those licenses for the developers of the Harbor Mall.
Right.
It's not right.
No, it's not.
And I'm going to be fighting, and that's not right. You came in with a $15 million investment, throw another $100,000 because you're going to need a license, a new license for your place.
Right. Hey,
Period.
I agree with you. Now, of course, on Friday, everybody knows that City Councilor Pam La Liberté LeBeau spilled the beans on the Mayor JL, also known as the Two, also known as the Twofer. And the Jombies weren't happy. And I have to admit, because I know somebody who happens to be on this show who was subjected to the same type of abuse that was heaped upon Pamela Liberté LeBeau that she spoke about on the air, on local radio. And then the mayor got on the radio to defend himself. Hey, you know what? I'm tired of it. Mr. Mayor, you have taken out papers. You are a candidate for public office. And it's about time that you realize that your infomercials on WSAR are just that. They are infomercials. Your voice on the radio all the time is a commercial for your candidacy.
Hey,
and anyone who's running for mayor should turn around and file complaints with the FCC and OCPF because those are unpaid ads.
How much is he paying for that show anyway?
He's not paying anything.
So he's receiving an illegal campaign contribution from a
It might be.
corporation.
It might be. We don't know. It might be. I mean, that's one way to look at it. But, you know, I'm not going to pick on that. But I am going to
CJ,
say you can't do this.
CJ,
Yep.
we are doing this show live.
Right.
So probably the mayor probably could come in and defend himself because every time that somebody calls and says something that he didn't like, he goes around and he calls back and he tries to defend himself. You know, I mean, nobody's perfect, and I have haters on Facebook too. I don't need to defend myself. I know who I am, what I do, and I don't have a need to go and lower myself to these people okay, to try to defend myself. It's not professional.
No, it's not.
It's not professional. You have haters. Doesn't matter what you do, whatever you do, you have haters. You need to respect them. That's their opinion. 9 city councils did not always decide and vote stuff that I like to. But guess what? I respect their votes. That's their opinion. They deserve to vote the way they want. And it's up to me, when comes election votes, to tell them I didn't like what you did and what you said. That's what I'm going to complain about. It's when I put my pen on my cross in there. I have, no need to every day being on the radio and defending myself. That's a shameful. That's not professional. It's not a job of a mayor. Grow up and handle. And the criticize, when people criticize, is part of the process. I'm a responsible person. I know I have people that probably going to criticize the way I speak, the way I have my hair spike, the way I have my glasses. It's part of the life. That's our living. So handle, be a man, strong,
The funny part
and
is,
period. That's it.
Carlos,
I have a group of people on the phone who want you to run for mayor.
Carlos, the funny thing is, the mayor's spending all this money. And, 2 years ago, Sam Sutter in his campaign said the city's on the verge of receivership.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor Jason Correa is the best person I've ever seen at smoke and mirrors. Because I'll tell you, come next January, the city is probably going into receivership.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's the only way to get rid of the fat.
he says that we have $5 million that we got in free cash. All free cash means is overtaxation.
Well, he thinks
Okay.
free cash is free for him to spend.
Right, but the thing is, all free cash is overtaxation. That's extra money that they didn't spend somewhere.
People need to realize we don't have extra money.
No, we don't.
So if I have money in the bank and I go open my refrigerator and it's empty, that's my money that should be on my refrigerator with food for me to eat.
Right.
Okay? So that's the same thing here. It's no money left on the budget because we don't have the money even to change a light bulb on the street that's dark for months. So don't tell me that I have money on the bank. No, you don't have money on the bank. That money belongs on those lights to be renewed. That money belongs on the machines that we need to cut grass.
That's certified free cash. It just came from the cash ferry. It's not overtaxation. It's not money that we didn't use. It's free cash. Guess where the free cash came from? Us, the taxpayers.
Well,
can we have free cash? You think we can afford to have free cash?
No, we
I
can't.
can't.
Well,
because by the time I pay my bills, I don't have money to put on my free cash.
Now, let me tell you what $5.3 million in free cash actually costs the residents of the city of Fall River. That means that each resident, adult and child, in the city of Fall River paid in excess of $60. Actually, they paid $60.23 a piece extra in taxes last fiscal year, which was July 1 of 2015 to July 1 to June 30th of 2016. So what could you, viewer, do with $60?
And next year we will have more free cash because the water's going up, the sewer's going up, the tax going up, everything's going up. So that's what the money is going to be in free cash. Instead of $5 million, next year we're going to have $10 million.
Oh my God!
All $120 a resident.
All of these things have to go up, Carlos. We can't afford it.
So and it's going to be a tough campaign. I cannot wait for this campaign because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have fun with it. And I'm glad that I stayed out of it because now I'm just a citizen that I can say whatever I want to say and support who I want to support and say, you said that you're going to do this and you did and so far and so forth.
Hey, Carlos,
so thank you for inviting me to be here.
The most important thing about this campaign is viewers, you have to go to the debates and bring your own popcorn. They're going to be the most entertaining debates.
It's going to be funner than the city council meetings.
I'll see you on Wednesday, people. Have a great day.